Hello, all seven of you. Welcome. It is Sunday afternoon, 1 p.m. I am hungry and I'm going to make some lunch. And since I have nothing else to do in my life, we are live. Um, I'm pretty excited to eat some of my bread that I baked that you saw me make the dough of. I baked it yesterday. I didn't go live. Just didn't feel like it. Trying to train myself to listen to my body and mind more and wasn't feeling it, so I didn't do it. Hello, London, Ontario. And, I love that your mom name was June. I do feel like I have a very, 50s name. It's a little bit outdated, but it's definitely closer to my mental age than my physical age, which isn't saying much because slowly my physical age is getting up there too. Hi, Arkansas and Hawaii and London, UK. And I'm going to be making a random carrot thing with leftover chicken schmaltz and carrots and onions and garlic, I guess. Just trying to clear out the fridge of all the things that I cooked while I had COVID so that it doesn't stay in there for too long. And I'll be eating some toast. And that's it. Hi, Mauritius. Hi, Californias. And afterwards, I will be taking a walk to drop off some of the bread to Aaron and hand him off some of my Manuka honey. And yeah. See, the thing about Arkansas is I didn't know how to pronounce it properly until I was in college. And my first kiss was in senior year of college. He happened to come from Arkansas, and that's when I learned how you properly pronounce Arkansas. But it literally does not make sense, okay? It should be pronounced Arkansas, because we have a state called Kansas, and it's pronounced Kansas. um, so I don't understand English. I've been visiting Lalo. I've visited her when I had two negative tests in a row, but I only see her like 5 minutes a day just to drop off food. I'm not taking her. How do you pronounce? Is it Mauritius? Mauritius? Sorry for mispronouncing all of your places. And hi, Alana. Happy birthday to your brother. But yeah, that's it. Enough talk. My stomach's growling. Let's cook. I only see grandma for 5 minutes a day. I'm not taking her on walks until I feel better, and I currently don't feel great, but I don't feel as bad, so, you know, taking it bit by bit. We're not roasting, we're just gonna be like stir frying some shit up. I'm too lazy to turn on the oven yet again. Maybe we'll make like a carrot soup. So I have this soy milk that's got the soy like grind in it. We can make a soup with this, I think. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no plans. As you know, I don't plan things anymore. The bagel sandwich was very good, but not only that, that place is just amazing. It's just such a perfect slice of New York, and the owner is amazing. He's kind, he's funny, He's a little crass, but in that like very relatable person way. And the amount of balls, man, through the roof. I really don't understand how ad revenue works on YouTube. Like the same live view count. Let's say I have two lives that both have about 3,000 views. One will make me $7 in ad revenue, and the other one might make me 14. I don't understand. I guess it's about the content that's in there, like what I talk about, but if anybody works at YouTube and wants to let me know how that's determined, but I guess we don't know because the algorithm's just like opaque. But if anyone figures it out, let me know. I'm curious. Yeah, it does add up. It's like grocery money, but you know, it's self-employment income, so then I have to pay taxes on it too. Oh, that's a nice sound. Oh my gosh. I forget which live it was on, but I was joking about somebody asked me about why I don't turn on super chats for these, and I explained it's because YouTube/Google takes like 30% of it. And I don't want your money going to them. And somebody was like, well, how do we support you? And I was like, I've been looking at these Birkenstock boots and they're very expensive. And I joked that y'all can just Venmo me. And two of you actually ended up Venmoing me. So thank you for contributing to the Birkenstock Boots Fund. What are taxes? Taxes are portions of your income that you pay off to the government for public services, such as Social Security, that my generation will never seemingly be able to cash out on because the country's a shithole. Other stuff like library and schools, but most of it is going to police and war. Am I open to making a Patreon? At this time, I have to think about what kind of content I can offer people on Patreon if I make it. So I'm still brainstorming. And I'll let you know if I have a Patreon. I'd be happy to take your money. The Birkenstock boots that I'm looking at are $250 and $350. There are two boots that I really want. So, after getting COVID and feeling like anything can happen at any time. And also realizing that the price for yogurt has doubled in the past 3 months. I'm just like, at this point, I should just spend money on whatever I want while I still can, because, like, who the fuck knows what's gonna happen to me, my body, and who the fuck knows what's gonna happen to the economy. It's just like every month it seems like we take one step down towards hell. And I'm just like, well, if we're gonna go to hell, might as well arrive there in comfy shoes, right? Yeah, I love Birkenstock because only two brands currently fit my feet. My feet have toe boxes that fan out like duck feet. And so most shoe brands, they kind of close off towards the toe box and they like crunch in my toes and they give me overtime injury, especially considering how much I can walk from time to time. So the sneaker brand that fits me is Ultra, Altra. They're like really fugly, but they fit me and they're very comfortable and I have no foot pain whatsoever walking in them, but they're sneakers. So Birkenstock is the only other brand that like mostly fits my feet. I still do get foot pain from them if I walk too long in them, but as far as the shoe brands that I've tested out, Birkenstock is the only one that manages to sometimes combine style and comfort enough that I can walk in them all over the city. So it should be um, worth the money for me, especially if I plan on walking again. My Venmo is my Instagram handle. It's thank9stars. Be sure you are not spelling it wrong and giving random strangers money. My Venmo picture profile is like a tiny June. I think that photo was taken in Japan when I was 3 or 4 years old, and I think she's in a cute little sweater and she has short hair and she's going like this. Um, it's a delightful profile picture. But like obviously, if you want to throw money my way for my feet, yeah, I'll take it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I will start selling photos of my feet. When I had COVID, I wrote on my Instagram story, "What should my next career path be?" And several people are like, "You should just sell pics of your feet on the internet." And I was like, how much do people get for photos of their feet? Why are people so weird? But anyway, you know, you should do that influencer thing of adding a Linktree link to your IG. Yeah, but like what would I put on my Linktree? Also, I really don't want to. Can I not be an influencer? I really don't want to. Um, um, how is it paying full rent on a more expensive place? I'm sure that's an adjustment. It is, but at the end of the day, it's worth it for my mental health, I think. And obviously, you know, hopefully I'll have prospects in the future. um, Making homemade birthday pizza. That's a delightful substitute for cake. Um, any tips? Have your oven go higher temperature than you think you need. Um, why don't you release a book? You know, books take a long time to write, and then you have to pitch it, and then it gets auctioned off to different publishers, and it's a whole thing. It would take years. Yeah, Sophie, that is the correct handle. Thank9stars. Um, Damn, we all need to move to somewhere where they don't do taxes. Um, you guys have a lot of comments. Earth has bigger toe boxes too. I have seen them. I will check them out. If you guys want to like DM me on Instagram for shoe brands that have wide toe boxes, let me know. They basically look like clown shoes. Um, yeah, I'm thinking if I do a Patreon, like, what would you guys want to see me write about if I write a newsletter? Do people read? I don't know if people read. Um, that's hilarious. Anyway, sounds like you want a pair of Red Wings? What's Red Wings? we have our chicken schmaltz. We have our liver leftover sauce that was too salty. We have some onion, and Doc Martens do not fit me. They are very painful for me. Doc Martens, unfortunately, do not fit. Patreon of whatever recipes don't make it to your normal job. I'm sorry I'm not very creative today. I mean, like, listen, that's a whole thing, right? All I do is non-recipe recipes. So, philosophy and food. Okay. What are full toe shoes? I think I want to pickle some of these carrots too. So we have our pickled beets, but we can add some carrots to one of these. The added bonus of pickling beets is that you then have pink pickling solution for all of your future pickles. And they all get dyed beet pink, which is such a gorgeous color. I love it. I'm gonna eat one. Cheers, y'all. Hi, Heather. Thank you so much for those kind words. They're so good. time is it right now in the Philippines? What time is it right now wherever you guys are? I want to know. 2:22 a.m. Go the fuck to sleep. Jesus. Oh, sorry. Did I miss? It looks like I missed comments. Boo, 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 boo. I have tried Keen. I haven't worn them in years. I did wear them back in college. I like them, but for the most part, their shoes aren't very pretty, and I'd rather wear either Ultra or Birkenstocks. I just don't feel like Keens are very stylish. At this point in my life, it doesn't really fit my aesthetic anymore, and they don't really provide much more comfort than the two brands that I mentioned. So, user submitted cooking challenges. Okay. Lem's shoes or Zero shoes. How expensive are these brands? You have COVID, Cynthia. Oh no. Any kind of pain is possible. I had a lot of back pain, general fatigue. Do you dabble in working with mock meats? We have an awesome store, Herbivorous Butcher. I don't really cook with like artificial meat, if that makes sense, because they're very pricey, and I would rather eat mushrooms and tofu and beans, honestly. The first beats you ever had were, you were 5 years old. Yeah, time to try them again, depending on how old you are now. I would try them again. Wow, most of you are in pretty reasonable time zones, actually. Fantastic. 3 in the morning in Japan. Hi, Japan! How's Japan? Are you guys zero COVID yet? I did roast the beets somewhat, so they're not raw. I don't like Uggs. I find them, culturally speaking, I find them just unacceptable to me because of the stereotype of the people who do wear Uggs. But my mom loved that brand. So I'd have to say that Uggs are just not very aesthetic, guys. They're not cute, honestly. They're just like furrier Crocs, no? Would you disagree? The stereotype of people who wear Uggs from when I was in middle school are rich white girls who wanted to pretend they were from the West Coast. Followed closely by the cool Asian girls who wanted to act white. Those are the stereotypes that have stuck with me throughout the years. Yeah, people actually wear Timberlands in New York a lot, actually, and I would say when I was in like high school, they used to be really popular with like the Latino community of students in middle school, but I feel like they just have this vibe that's like upper working class, if that makes sense. The general feel of people who wear Timbs in New York is very much like rugged, a little bit, from the hood, but like metropolitan hood, if that makes any sense. Timberlands were not very accessible to me. They're pretty expensive. When I was in middle school even, they were like 80, 90, $100. So I wanted Tim's for a very long time, but they were just very expensive when I wanted them, and right now I don't think they would fit my feet very well. The shape of them just look narrow in the toe box. But they do seem very durable. Bear Paw feel atrocious on my feet. That brand is shit. The material is hard and I don't know, bro. Why am I cooking carrots? Actually, did you know that the nutrients in carrots are much more readily absorbed by our body after they are subjected to some heat and oil? Because it's vitamin A, which is fat-soluble vitamin, which means you should always be eating your carrots with some sort of fat in order to kind of unleash the power of the vitamins within. So I'm going to saute them a little bit in the turmeric schmaltz that we have from our chicken stock that we made. And then once they get a little bit browned, I'm going to add in our soy milk with the sediment, and we'll add in some water and make a soup. A little thick carrot soup. I might consider putting other stuff in there. Like, I don't know, I'm feeling like some kind of grain or, ooh, pasta! Oh my god. Yes, I've been craving pasta. Y'all, you don't know how excited I am. I knew when I went to Trader Joe's and saw this bag of macaroni noodles that I wanted this. I don't know why I wanted it, but I knew I wanted it, so I bought it. And now we will use it. I love pasta. And I will put whatever we don't end up using, and you guessed it, a jar. Pasta hurts your belly, but why? But why? I also love, can we just talk about packaging? I know I normally don't eat pasta, but I've been trying to listen to my body more, and my body was like, pasta, please buy it. And I was like, okay, body, I hear you. We're gonna do it. And it was only $1 at Trader Joe's, so I love the packaging. I love simple packaging, but I also love functional packaging. And this is a very functional packaging because you have all this font that reads naturally. And then up top, you have upside down font. And I'm assuming that, you know, it says imported Italian pasta macaroni. I'm assuming that when they stock it, it wouldn't matter which side is facing out. And if they miss the direction, the buyer can still see what pasta it is, no matter how they stocked it. So, fun. So I've discovered that raw vegetables actually give me a lot of stomach issues, especially stuff like carrots and sometimes tomatoes even. Stuff like celery can kind of fuck me up. Um, Raw salad greens used to give me random, like, cut lips. Like, my lips will just split at the corners when I eat green salads. Doesn't happen to me anymore, so I'm not sure what changed my body, but yes, raw vegetables do make me bloat very badly. So, to each their own. You gotta figure out what works for your body, you know? Just because somebody else says it's healthy doesn't mean it's gonna work out for you. I'm gonna love putting pasta in this because then we can make the liquid really starchy. I'm mainly just using more water here to rinse out this jar so I can put it in the dishwasher without wasting too much water. And hopefully this will help us soften the carrots a little more. So somebody asked me earlier, will you be filming Budget Eats from this new place? The answer is no, because I don't own the rights to the intellectual property of the Budget Eats series. That intellectual property belongs to Hearst, the company who puts out that video series. So unless I want to get sued for stealing their intellectual property, I can no longer make Budget Eats. But that doesn't mean we won't make other stuff, y'all. There will always be more content. I just have to think about what I want to do. So Asian noodles, for the most part, is made with wheat flour, like the kind of wheat that is all-purpose flour. And Italian pasta is made with durum wheat. And durum wheat, durum literally means hard wheat. So it is a different variety of wheat that is used in pasta. That could be why you don't like pasta or your body doesn't handle pasta very well. You guys are funny. You guys are funny. This is very thick. Yeah, Ben was lovely. Creamy. That's true. There are rice noodles in a lot of prepackaged Asian cuisine, so I didn't think about rice noodles, but you're totally right. Rice noodles are probably easier to digest for a lot of people as well. How do I wash these lids? They take up so much space. Gosh. Okay. Mung bean noodles. Yes, I love mung bean noodles. Cauliflower rice. Is the Astoria video the last of Into the Wild? Into the Wild. So again, Hearst owns the intellectual property of all the shows that I participated in making. I will no longer be starring in them, but that's not to say that they won't replace with another host and continue making any of those series. They still can, you know, so. All I will say for now, because I'm not ready to disclose more yet, is that I will no longer be appearing in Delish videos. So do with that what you will. In due time, I will let you know, okay? But yo, I'm a free agent now. I'm just chilling for a minute because, as you know, a lot has happened in my life in the past year, and I just got COVID, and I just need to make sure I'm not dying first, you know? Like, what point is there to thinking about what to do in life if you don't have a life? So I'm gonna recenter and rest and just exist and coast for a while. I am totally okay with the changes that have been happening to me in life. I'm simply processing them. And I'll be here. You'll see me here. And in due time, I'm fairly certain in my heart of hearts that I'm going to have, if I continue to have the opportunity to live and continue existing, that I would love to make more videos of my own here that are not lives, hopefully edits. But it might take a few months for me to just be grounded, get settled, maybe buy a computer where I can edit my own shit on. Yeah. I'm just enjoying an extended vacation. Please never go on Food Network. You hate Food Network that much? What's wrong with Food Network? Yeah, and I totally appreciate that you guys are here for the ride. It's so fun to not know what you're doing next. It's like the possibility of life is what is most deliriously sexy about life, you know? I think in my 20s, I was really stressed out about, fuck, what am I going to do next? And where do I belong? And how do I know what I'm good at? And I think, you know, a dozen years down the road, and having gone through different kinds of professions and being involved in different sorts of organizations and hierarchies, I'm recognizing now that, like, the human will to survive is strong, y'all. And you know what? We're so adaptable. No matter what your skill set is, you are always going to acquire more skills as you live and continue living. And so it really doesn't matter if you know what you want to do or who you want to be or what your career is, because you will find a way. You will find a way. People can make money off video more than live. Yeah, for sure. Videos tend to make more money because they are more thematic. Advertisers know exactly what they're signing up for when they get inserted into your videos. And so I think the way that ad revenue is driven on YouTube is advertisers decide whether or not they want their product featured in a video that has to do with this, and this topic. So, you know, we'll see. I'm not too worried. Yeah. DZD says just do it and learn along the way. And that's exactly what I've been doing for the last, I don't know, 20 years of my life, essentially. After I graduated college, I did a teaching fellowship in China, and then I came back to New York, and I did like 10 months of social work after Hurricane Sandy hit. And then I went into restaurant work, and that was 4.5 years. And then I went into food media, and that was 4.5 years. And there will always just be something else to do and something else to learn, and I'm open to it all. You know. I really don't want to go into that sponsorship life. Like, it annoys the shit out of me. If I take on a sponsor, I need to be aligned with them all the way through. I hope I don't need money enough in the future where I'm like slutting myself out to whoever wants to give me whatever money to be their sponsorship head, because I don't want to be a human ad. I really don't want to be a human ad. And like, I totally appreciate when y'all are saying help June by watching the full ads, but I also don't want you sitting there watching ads. Like, that shit is insidious. It will like brainworm its way into your soul. So don't. Like, use ad block. I don't care. If I need money, I will go out and find another job that will give me benefits. You don't have a responsibility for churning more ad revenue for me. You are just here to enjoy the company and the content whenever you want, which might not be all the time, and that's fine. Like, I'm putting shit out here. It's a buffet, right? We're all a buffet in the world for people. Some people like you, some people don't. I put out this buffet. You don't like it, you don't gotta eat it. So, don't worry about me. But if you want to watch ads, watch ads. It currently, it makes no difference to me because I'm not relying on the $14 of ad revenue I get from each live, you know? And I know, like, that's exactly why, though. Kay is saying, I feel like advertising is inescapable these days. Everything I watch is an ad, which is why you should not watch more ads than you need to, you know? And I'm telling you, please feel free to use ad block. I don't take any offense at that. In fact, I would support you in watching all of my stuff with ad block on, because it's not worth the psychological damage that you sustain over time watching those ads. Oh my gosh, come listen, come listen. It smells really comforting. And it's like so shiny and silky. Yo, for real though, I have a friend who works in tech. And he is terrified of advertisement. Like, it freaks him out. He used to work in the ad department for Facebook. It impacted the way he lives. When he first moved to New York, he's like, the subways, they are covered in ads. It's terrifying. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I just learned to tune it out. But some people are really sensitive to that shit. And, like, you gotta figure out what works for you and just avoid that, you know? I don't have any herbs, Jenny. So I would say that my taste and smell is maybe 35% back. I have to get really close to the source of food to smell it. Really close. Urbina, you an OG ad watcher. What works for you, girl? Whatever works for you. I appreciate you. This is really expired Samjang. It's a Korean paste, seasoned soybean paste. It has wheat flour, soybean, corn syrup, salt, onion, sugar, garlic, fructose, koji seed, which is a kind of like moldy rice grain that is used to ferment shit, and then ginger. So we're gonna put some of this in. It is a dishwasher. I really didn't want a dishwasher, but it came with the apartment, and I like the rest of the apartment for the most part. So I was like, all right, guess I'm a dishwasher person now. DZD, commas are really important. I'm gonna eat, y'all. Maybe see you later reads differently than I'm going to eat you all. Maybe see you later. Took me a second. I was not sure if I was going to live. I also discovered that I currently can't taste salt very well, which is troublesome because I have already been oversalting my food before COVID. My friend gifted me a bag of salted cashews yesterday, and I came home and I started eating them, and I was like, these are very lightly salted. Then I look on the back of the bag, and it says 8% sodium per serving, which is pretty high. It tastes more like 3% sodium to me. So I'm a little worried. Maybe this will give me like high blood pressure. this until the carrots are nice and soft, and then I'm going to add in as much pasta as I want. And we'll eyeball the amount of liquid that goes in until the pasta is cooked. I did think about putting cashew in there, but I kind of like eating them. I don't like when cashews get soft unless I'm creaming them into a sauce. I don't like boiled cashews. Why is my oven so gross? Guys, we gotta clean this shit today, dude. Jesus, I'm like really behind on upkeeping my kitchen space here. Let's put some pepper and microplastics in. We love our pepper and microplastics. See, cooked peanut is different than cooked cashews. I have no problem with cooked peanuts. I just really don't like cooked cashews when they're soggy. What is ba cang? I don't know what that is. All right, let's taste. Okay. Better, but I think it could do with some coriander, maybe? Oh, 粽子, I see. And a little white pepper. And I don't know why, but I saw oregano, so I'm gonna put some in. This is gonna make a weird one. Oh my god, chestnuts. Have you ever had a sweet chestnut 粽子 that's not salty? Because I fucking hate salty 粽子. I can't stand them. any more water in there. So I'm going to rinse out this schmaltzy jar because let's be honest, what was I going to do with that tablespoon of schmaltz anyway? Ooh. Okay. Lime leaf. We're gonna put one in. Did I miss any comments? I'm sorry, I've been ignoring you while I'm cooking. Not good at multitasking without my computer. Do you know how Aaron is faring with his bout of COVID? I am going to deliver some bread and honey to him after this. I think he's doing much better. Doesn't seem like either one of us had a really bad case of it, probably because we both had 2 boosters. But he did just send me this very interesting synopsis about how there's been studies that show that further boosters actually diminish your like immune system response, which is it a bad thing, like, or a good thing? I'm not sure. So I just feel like most of my friends have already all gotten COVID at least once. Most of them have been boosted. It seems like this particular round of COVID is pretty prevalent now. Like it's spreading like a cold. I did not put yellow curry powder in. No. Yeah, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, so I don't really know. But I think until we figure out what's going on with these variants, I don't know. Like, I already have 2 boosters in me, the last of which was taken in September. I got sick in November. And I feel like it's becoming one of those things where it's like the flu, you know, like there's just too many strains going around now. And the vaccines definitely help, but the variants might be mutating so fast that we just can't produce vaccines to keep up with all the different strains of the virus. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm still experiencing body ache, fatigue. There is still some sort of like nasal, throat, mucusy thing happening. I don't really have much of a cough except maybe like 3 times a day. I have a light cough to have my body like cough up some mucus. Um, I'm actually, my main worry right now is how COVID's toll on my immune system might or might not make my childhood autoimmune kidney condition flare back up. I have been diagnosed when I was a kid. I had been diagnosed with IgA nephropathy, also known as Berger's disease, and it's basically when a protein, IgA, is found in your kidneys where it shouldn't be, and then your autoimmune system's like freaking out, and it's like, well, that shouldn't be there, and it starts attacking my own body, basically. And it destroys the nephrons, which are the filtration units within the kidneys. I have these urinalysis test strips. Deborah says, haven't had COVID, 3 boosters, third is bivalent, all 5 shots Pfizer with 0 reactions to the shots. I've reacted to all my shots. So that could also just be like a genetic thing. Maybe you're just kind of immune. And yeah, Jay, I didn't know I was going to be cooking for an hour. You know, unpredictable. But I had these urinalysis test strips that are like 5 or 6 years expired now, and I tested myself yesterday, and 4 of the benchmarks were really off. But again, I don't know if I can trust expired test strips, but it did kind of freak me out that one of the metrics that was off was protein, because when I was in full flare mode of my IgA nephropathy, the scariest metric to tip off was protein, because protein should never be in your urine. That means your kidneys are failing to filter out what they need to filter out and are failing to keep in your body what they need to keep in your body. Protein is something that should not be leaking out of your urine. And the fact that it showed a detectable amount of protein in my urine. Again, the strips were expired. I know, I should probably get new test strips, but like if I have protein in my urine, that's not good news for me. So that's my main concern right now, because if my IgA nephropathy flares again and returns as a condition that I have to deal with, it will be for the rest of my life. It gets to a point where your body attacks your kidneys so much that your kidneys lose the capacity to do their job, and if it worsens, I will, with this condition, have to go on dialysis, and if it gets bad enough, I will have to like wait for a transplant, and it's not a life I want to live. It's not a life that anybody wants to live. So we'll just have to see. I hope not, but nothing's impossible in this case, unfortunately. So I'm just trying to be patient and kind with myself, especially as of late. You know, so many changes. The body and mind is tired, and rest is undervalued in our society. We are not told to prioritize the concept of rest and the practice of rest. We are always told to do something even when we are on vacation, which is like so fucked if you think about it, you know? How did we get to this point where we don't know how to do anything? Bye, Alpha Brenna. Maybe this can turn into like a mac and cheese situation if we can cook down the sauce enough without adding too much water. Oh my gosh, a vegan mac and cheese. I mean, this one has schmaltz in it, but you could have very well substituted for olive oil for the fat. Um, Dude, a vegan mac and cheese with soy milk byproduct? Soybean curd mac and cheese? Um, June, Sharon asks, June, now that you won't be making any more of the Budget Eat series, will you get royalties off the current views? No, because I never got a single cent off of the ad revenue that came through on Budget Eats. Hearst does not pay us ad revenue cuts. We do not get extra money for participating in videos as full-time staff. That is the status quo. I have received zero money for Budget Eats. Yeah. And you wonder why we unionized. It's true, I did receive you guys from Budget Eats. You are my royalties. I own you now. You guys are funny. I would love to still have a goat commune farm. Yeah. Yeah. Stinky Puddle Ranch. Yes, give thee to me. I have not told more details. Frank's Modi. Let's just say that it was unplanned and unexpected. I would love to take you thrifting. Oh my gosh, yes. I could be one of those YouTube vloggers that take you guys thrifting with me. Would you like to see? That would be so cute. I love thrifting. I just want to make content about everything that I love to do. Cook random shit, make random bread, buy random things, walk to random streets. Hopefully not get kidnapped, but I'll have the camera with me so you'll see. Once in a while, I'll pop down and be like, reasons why I cried every day this week as the title, and you'll just hear like a 30-minute rant about why life sucks. That's part of YouTube vlogging lifestyle, right? I mean, maybe I will strip. Depends on how bad I need the money, you know? I think it's really exciting because, like, this is the crowd that have been watching these really shitty quality lives for a while. So, on a certain level, you know me, right? Like, all of me, almost. You haven't seen me take a poop yet. Hopefully, you never will. I don't think YouTube would like that very much. But aside from that, you've seen me clean my bathroom. So there's really nothing that I can give to you in an edited sense that will be foreign. I think you've seen it all already. It's starting to sound back. Caddy, the last video is the one that went live yesterday. Yeah, I still talk to my former coworkers for sure. I love them. This is why I don't. It does sound wet, Brian. Pasta should always sound wet, you know. This is why I don't really support it when people like go on cancellation campaigns, and they cancel whatever they perceive to be the issue. The issue at hand isn't any specific entity. It's just the system, unfortunately. That's really fucked. I love my coworkers. I'm friends with many of them. They're wonderful people, and I'm very sad that I won't be working with them anymore, but it was out of my hands. So we will simply ride the new life. It's glossy. What foods do you recommend that would make nice gifts? Personally, I would love to receive someone's homemade cookies, homemade pralines, homemade brittle, like candy-like things would be amazing. Things that wouldn't perish within the week. If you're thinking like prepackaged stuff, I don't know, anything in a jar is really pretty. So jams, honeys, spices would be really nice because you don't have to use it all in one go. It's kind of like a gift that can stick with you for a long time. Tea Park. You know. Ooh, yes, Italian rainbow cookies. Amazing gift. Very labor intensive. Ooh, this tastes like it smells like it has MSG already. Happy to be your slave? Ooh, okay. We're almost there. It's slightly raw past al dente. So I think 5 more minutes and we're there. This is so exciting. I can't believe it. I basically made like an almost vegetarian, if I didn't use the chicken schmaltz. Mac and cheese, stovetop mac and cheese. It's not cheese because I just use like soy milk, soy curd, residue. What do you even call that? But ooh, The sour eating candy is what drew you to the Delish channel. Interesting. I had a rollicking wild ride developing those candies. Julia kept saying it needs to be more sour, and I'm like, Julia, you're gonna permanently damage people. And she was like, they're gonna sign a waiver. And I was like, girl, okay, yes, chef. I need to put a little bit of fish sauce for funk. Just a little. And then we'll add some of Mom's MSG. And I think we can turn the heat off because the carryover cooking will help us simmer through the last of that slightly undercooked bite. Just a little while. There's still enough moisture in the sauce where it will just keep bloating the noodles. No, actually, I love taking orders from Julia. She's our video director. My role at Delish basically meant I had like 4 bosses. So we had our editor-in-chief who was like everyone's boss. And then we had her right-hand woman, our director of content operations, who was also kind of almost everyone's boss. And then we had the food team food director, and then we had the video team video director. And I didn't really work with the editorial side very much, like the article features side. So didn't really have a boss on that end. Excuse me. That's a very gentle burp. So yeah, I constantly had like 4 bosses to report to, basically. And I love Julia. No qualms. Also, I call everyone chef. In case nobody's noticed, I call Aaron chef. It's a habit that I picked up working at Roberta's, which is a pizzeria in Brooklyn here in New York. I worked one shift at the restaurant one night, and somebody called me chef, and I was like, oh, I'm not a chef, I'm just here working a shift. And they were like, yeah, chef, we call everyone chef. And I was like, that's fucking awesome. You call everyone chef. And that's like, that's the real vibe of kitchen culture that I miss, where everyone's just a team. Everyone's on even standing with everyone else, and it's all about the teamwork that drives forward service and riding through the toughest parts of serving people. So ever since then, I just say yes, chef. Like I say everyone's a chef, right? Because we're all equal and we all respect each other and we all work with each other, and it's like equality, equity, collaboration, teamwork, all of that dream work. So yes, chef. It's all about the community. Absolutely, Madame Bouche. It's all about that community. I miss kitchen culture in so many ways, and I hate it in so many ways, right? That's why I stayed in there for almost 5 years, because there is a sense of, I hate to use it, but like there is a sense of a family. I mean, the whole thing is called a family meal. When you make a meal for the staff members before service begins, you call that family meal. There is a true sense of a family in a kitchen culture. It's just sometimes, no matter how familial you get, there is still like inbuilt toxicity. So yeah. Do you feel you learn how to cook from working in kitchens? That's where I learned to cook, baby. I didn't go to culinary school. And to be honest, my mom cooked for me, but like she didn't really cook for me until when I started working in food. So I didn't really grow up with parents that like were into cooking. I didn't grow up with a recipe culture. I didn't grow up with that much of like a food-centric family culture either. A lot of chefs or recipe developers that you hear about here in the States especially is like coming from a tradition of growing up with their grandmas or moms or whoever who taught them how to cook, and I never really had that. Like my grandma cooked for me a lot when I was still in China, but she didn't really teach me as a routine. So most of my food experience has come from working in kitchens. I haven't watched The Bear. Is it a stressful show? I don't like stressful cooking shows. It portrays certain aspects of the PTSD that you sustain in kitchens very accurately. The scene that I identified with the most, there's two scenes that I identify with the most, if you're ready for spoilers. I won't go into detail. I'll just give you very specific snapshots of what happened in those scenes that I related to. There's one scene where service is crazy, the team is breaking down, and the ticket machine just keeps pumping out orders. Ticket after ticket after ticket. You got a whole strip of orders coming through, and it's just like that machine won't shut up. The sound of a ticket machine going off, if I were to hear it now, would still trigger me. The same way that Slack notification started triggering me. Like it just like kicks off this anxiety reaction in you of like, holy shit, what's coming down the pipeline. The second scene that like really reminded me of how heartbreaking certain moments in kitchens can be is when somebody's reaching for like this huge Cambro tub of consomme or whatever beef stock was made, and that beef stock took hours and hours to make, and she's not quite tall enough to handle that heavy of a tub, and it falls. Like that entire flavor base just spills all over the floor. You've lost days of preparation in the blink of an eye, and service is about to start. Like, what the fuck do you do? Those moments happen in kitchens, and like you just mentally fall into a pit. You're just like frozen in complete disaster mind. And yeah. Hi, hip dipster. Oh my god. Wait, what does working the door mean? Is that a specific station? Madame Bouge, I love your name, by the way. Via Carota. Apparently, all the food industry peeps love it. I've never been because it's fucking expensive and I can't justify treating myself to a meal like that. But also, I don't go because all the food industry people love it. And you know what? Most of the time, I don't like where food industry people like to go. I think it's overhyped. But I think everyone who works in kitchens for over 2 years needs therapy. Um, I did not learn to cook Asian food in the restaurant industry. Nope. I didn't work at any Asian restaurants. Mm, I see. Hosting. Yeah, hosts. You guys have it rough. Like I also feel like the hiring of hosts are also very gendered for one and very superficial on a certain level. Like you have to, especially in those more bougie restaurants, present yourself and dress yourself and perform a certain way. And it's not something that I think I can do for longer than 6 months at a time. Um, yeah, I can see that. Just like the self-righteousness and the entitlement of like, what do you mean I can't be admitted? Places that don't take reservations also fucking piss me off. No. There's just like such a sign of flagrant disrespect for everyone's time to not open up reservations because they ride off of this feeling of, well, everybody wants to be here. And it's that kind of persona of a restaurant that just makes me feel like I don't want to give them money. Does that make sense? It's very classist. Like it feels classist to me coming from a background of um not being very moneyed and not feeling comfortable spending more than 20 bucks on a meal. Like so many of these classisms just are inherent into um restaurants. This question might cause a war, but who has it worse, front of house or back of house? Back of house receives abuse from the chefs. Front of house receives abuse from mostly customers, but also the chefs. So maybe front of house has it worse, but front of house gets paid more. Like front of house can make potentially 600 to 800 bucks on an extremely good night, and even on a bad night they might pull in like 150, 200 in my experience in the restaurants that I've worked. But back of house usually don't, back of house does not get tipped out, so we just work for minimum wage hourly. And so at the last place that I worked, minimum wage was about $13 an hour. And even if I worked 5 hours overtime, my paycheck would not exceed 600 something dollars per week. So, it's hard. It's just hard. To like sustain physical injury, a culture that almost like valiantly heroicizes sustaining injury, and then to sustain emotional injury from egos and pressure cooker environments for minimum wage and no benefits is like really fucking ridiculous, you know? Front of house as a practice does not share tips with back. Like, it depends on the restaurant, but most restaurants don't in New York. Wow. This is pretty good, y'all. This is pretty good. I'm gonna add a little bit of sweet pepper paprika and truffle salt. I don't even smell the truffle. Wow, this kind of smells like rancid oil to me now. Is it rancid, or am I just not smelling shit? Listen, quick is an abstract concept. It's relative, okay? Like, it used to be normal to wait months for a letter to arrive. Now we're just like, where's your fucking email? Why didn't you reply 20 minutes ago when I sent it out? So, 1.5 hours to make a quick lunch is because it's causing a cognitive dissonance because we're so used to having food delivered within half an hour. All these videos that are like recipes in under 10 minutes that are fucking lies because you need to not only wash the produce and cut it before you get to cook it, you also need to factor in the fact that you're doing dishes after you eat, right? Like, nothing is a 10-minute recipe unless you're literally just buttering toast. So let's be honest. Our world is built on lies. I didn't hear about the lawsuit for mac and cheese. What happened with Kraft? Good. I hope their ass gets sued every single second of every single day. I lied about how long it took to prepare. That's the least of the lies. Let's talk about the other evil shit that Kraft has done. This is so satisfying. The pasta is like soft and slightly barely al dente, but the soybean byproduct has turned into like this creamy mash. It almost tastes a little bit like let me taste it again. Like a really fluffy hummus. If you could imagine whipped cream cheese, apply that whippedness to hummus, like somebody took a cup of hummus and whipped it into 3 cups of hummus. That's what this tastes like. The carrots are completely tender, like cuttable with a spoon. And the flavors are present, but they have married into each other so that I can't really taste the individual spices, just that it is kind of umami laden, not in a meaty way, but in like a vegetarian way. I think it's coming from that chicken schmaltz, actually. It's lending a lot of that chickeny umami MSG vibe. I think that's why, because before I even added the MSG, it tasted like MSG to me, because I think chicken essence tastes like MSG. And so the chicken broth with the chicken schmaltz tasted so much like MSG, just naturally without any actual MSG in it. Successful lunch! Textured mush. We have elevated my mush. A multi-sensual mush. So, these are like the sesame seeds and the poppy seeds and the flax seeds and the oats that fell off of my bread. I'm gonna put it up on my mat for a topping. And then we can wash this tray. And you might think I'm weird, and I know several people always complain why I never sit down to eat. I just don't have a habit of sitting down to eat, but maybe I will cultivate it now. I want to really clean this counter. I haven't cleaned it in 2 weeks. My stove is a mess. But yeah, oh, the seed oat grain topping is perfect on this. Where's my cleaner? Well, I hate the term zero waste. Nothing is zero waste. It's a lie. It's also, the term zero waste is fucking classist too, y'all. I hate it. I'm not sure what you're asking. Hello, June. Did you use hummus on your food? No, there's no hummus, but I use soybean mash. I had so many viewers say they wanted a zero waste episode of Budget Eats, and like so many people commented about how much plastic is involved in packaging in the States, and I'm like, yeah, that's the least of our worries. You want to talk about going to a zero waste shop where it's only in the bougiest parts of New York City and you can't really afford anything because it's meant to be for pretty much bougie clientele who have the income level to live that way, while the rest of us plebeians just have to deal with the shittiest kinds of food quality because of injustice everywhere, but especially in the food system. Yeah, can we talk about all of that first before we hop on the zero waste train? All these barriers to access. Like, the real problem isn't plastic waste. The real problem is who's creating these frameworks of consumption, and why it's so stratified. Because I certainly didn't ask for my food to be packaged in plastic. It just became cheaper for manufacturers to deal with that way. And it came out of the plastic industry trying to convince everyone that plastic was great. Aspirational lifestyles piss me off so much because there's so much hidden and unhidden isms in there. There's just so much ideology that we are promoting through labeling food as healthy, through labeling lifestyles as clean and green, through all of these words that are meant to guilt us into living a certain way, even when we can't afford it. Shit pisses me off, dude. And like, when I first started to reserve my paper towels in the test kitchen to like reuse it for cleaning like I'm doing now, people were so grossed out. And I'm like, dude, you literally just used it to dry the hands that you just washed, I hope carefully. What is the matter with me using this piece of paper that got water off my hands to then clean food messes? Why is there so much classism laden within these moral judgments of our actions? Like, why do you look down on me because I reuse paper towels? It's not like I put it in my butt and then I'm wiping the counter with it. That would be very different. So whenever people judge me for living a certain way, acting a certain way, eating a certain way, God, food is so big in moral judgments too. I get pissed off and I do get very reactionary because I think a part of me realizes that the judgments they are passing on me are meant to trigger shame. And the purpose of that shame is to get me to homogenize and assimilate myself into the dominant way of consumption. And first of all, I didn't grow up with that because I didn't have the means to. My culture was different and my standards and baseline are different. And so not only is that sort of judgment a shaming method and making me feel really shitty for no real reason at all, but it's also a form of bullying if you think about it. You are bullying someone else to live the way you think you should make everyone live. It's just a soft power pull. It's not like you're whipping me and sending me to jail, but you are kind of like ostracizing me. You know? And like, when you have When you have Bounty paper towels, you wash that shit, okay? If you're spending $3 on a roll of paper towels, you better be washing that paper towel 4 times before you throw it in the trash. I don't even have Bounty, and I'm washing it. I did see Grandma today. Yes. I saw her very briefly. I gave her her Chinese donuts. I gave her a little tub of congee, and I said, Grandma, what's today's date? We labeled it in a calendar, and then I said, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. I'm drawing some boundaries because, one, I'm still not feeling 100%, so I don't really want to stay there just in case I am still capable of passing something to her. 2, I'm not feeling 100%, so I think, you know, the more time I have to myself to just unwind and do nothing, the better for everyone. And 3, I want her to know that it's okay if I don't spend an hour with her every day, and she will survive. Because honestly, looking back, I was burning out, bro. I was burning the fuck out. I use the same paper towel to move from the cleanest, lightest place that I'm cleaning to the dirtiest, grimiest place. So by the time it reaches the dirtiest place, I can toss it. Now, normally, I usually have 3 or 4 paper towels hanging around that have been used. Oh no. I only have 10% battery left, guys. I forgot to charge my phone before going live because this was going to be a quick lunch. So if we get cut off, just know that I'm alive. Everything's fine. I'm just running out of battery power. Cool. And I will try to show you the bread before I go. Let's see. Maybe after the live ends, I'll actually take my food to a table and eat it, huh? That would be great. Okay, you ready to see the bread? I already sliced it. Here's the bread. I already took a bite out of it. It's seeded on the outside. I crusted it with flaxseed and black sesame and oats, but inside is millets and poppy seed and white sesame and millet, and it's still sourdough, and it was baked at 450 degrees for about 43 minutes yesterday. The crust is like really nicely brown this time. It was kind of blonde last time, so I went a little higher on the baking temp and it worked out really well. And yeah, I will share half the loaf with Aaron. I packed it for him in this container, all sliced and ready to go. I think I need a little bit of butter. I'm really excited to be doing sourdough again, honestly, because it's giving me quarantine vibes. Put a little bit of mom's salt. Cold slap of butter. It might be like a cultural thing, but I love cold butter on bread. If you look up sourdough recipe on Delish, you will find my recipe for sourdough starter. It is just basic Trader Joe's butter. Pretty decent butter, y'all. Okay, thank you so much for cooking with me for close to 2 hours. Sorry for the clickbait of a quick lunch, but I hope you enjoyed the chatter and the low-key cloak drama. And talking about how much I hate the toxic parts of restaurant culture and classism. Appreciate you all very much. Thank you.